Olympian Eileen Gu's decision to compete for her mother's homeland sparked intense hate, but a USA gold medalist just stepped in to shut everyone up. Olympian Eileen Gu recently stepped up to defend fellow athlete Eileen Gu, who has faced significant criticism for her decision to represent China in the 2026 Winter Olympics. Liu, a gold medalist herself, finds the backlash against Gu hypocritical, especially given the circumstances. Gu was born in the U.S., but ultimately chose to compete for China, her mother's native country, in the Games. This decision sparked a firestorm of controversy, with many calling her a traitor. She's explained her reasoning numerous times, emphasizing her desire to provide more representation for her heritage. The criticism has persisted from social media, fellow athletes, and even Vice President J.D. Vance. Liu is the daughter of a Chinese immigrant who came to the U.S. in 1989. According to People, she put things into perspective during a recent interview, pointing out the double standard she sees. Liu mentioned she's aware people view her as an American hero while Gu faces such harsh judgment. "I've known Eileen since I was 13 or something. We're from the Bay Area. She's super nice. And her mom is from China," the ice skater shared. Liu basically called out the double standard everyone's ignoring. Liu didn't hold back, continuing, "I think people are hypocritical for shaming her for representing China. So in my head it's a bit hypocritical, because her mom is an immigrant. You would have told her to go back to China. Now that they are back in China, you're mad." It's a pretty compelling point, highlighting the inconsistent expectations some people place on athletes with dual heritage. She definitely makes you think about the underlying biases. Liu passionately argued that it's sport. It doesn't matter what country we represent. Sport is sport, and she has a love for competition. She has love for the game. I think that's all that matters. There's no shame in going where the opportunity is. The Olympian, who recently was chased to her car by fans at the airport, made it clear that the focus should remain on competition rather than politics. Gu, whose grandmother passed away shortly after the Winter Olympics in Italy, certainly ruffled some feathers throughout the 2026 Games. Beyond the backlash for her choice of representation, she also made headlines for her sharp response during a press conference. A reporter asked if she viewed her 2026 finishes as 2 silvers gained or 2 golds lost, which, honestly, feels like a pretty loaded question to ask an Olympian. Gu delivered a fantastic clapback, saying, "I'm the most decorated female freeskier in history." I think that's an answer in and of itself. How do I say this? Winning a medal at the Olympics is a life-changing experience for every athlete. Doing it 5 times is exponentially harder. The 2 medals lost situation, to be quite frank with you, I think is kind of a ridiculous perspective to take. I'm showcasing my best skiing. I'm doing things that quite literally have never been done before. So I think that is more than good enough. But thank you. In the world of sports, athletes are often celebrated for their talent, dedication, and ability to inspire millions. Yet sometimes their personal choices become the center of controversy, overshadowing their achievements. Such was the case with freestyle skiing superstar Eileen Gu, whose decision to represent China, her mother's homeland, at the Winter Olympics ignited intense debate, criticism, and even hate from some corners of the internet. But amid the noise, one powerful voice emerged from an unexpected place, an American Olympic gold medalist who stepped forward to defend Gu, reminding the world that identity, heritage, and personal choice are far more complex than national boundaries. This story is not just about sports. It is about identity, belonging, courage, and the right to define who you are. A rising star between 2 worlds. Eileen Gu's story begins in a unique cultural space. Born in San Francisco, California, Gu grew up with a Chinese mother and an American upbringing. From a young age, she stood at the crossroads of 2 cultures. At home, she spoke Mandarin with her mother and absorbed Chinese traditions. Outside, she lived the life of an American teenager, attending school, skiing in Lake Tahoe, and growing up in the vibrant culture of the United States. By her mid-teens, Gu was already dominating freestyle skiing competitions. Her style was bold, her tricks innovative, and her confidence unmistakable. Many experts believed she was destined to become one of the sport's biggest stars. But in 2019, Gu made a decision that stunned many in the American sports community. She announced that she would compete for China in international competitions, including the Olympics. The decision that sparked a firestorm. Gu explained her choice simply. She wanted to inspire young people in China and help grow winter sports there. With Beijing set to host the 2022 Winter Olympics, she saw an opportunity to build bridges between cultures she loved. To Gu, the decision felt natural. She had deep ties to China through her mother and had spent summers there visiting family. She felt a connection to both countries. But to critics, especially online, the move became something else entirely. Some accused her of betraying the United States. Others questioned her loyalty. A few even launched personal attacks. Social media quickly turned into a battlefield of opinions. For some people, Gu's choice was interpreted through the lens of geopolitics rather than personal identity. Yet the reality of her life was far more nuanced. She had never denied her American upbringing. She simply embraced another part of herself as well. "I'm not choosing one side," Gu once suggested in interviews. "I'm embracing both." But for many critics, nuance was not enough. Triumph in Beijing. When the Beijing 2022 Winter Olympics arrived, Gu stepped onto the global stage carrying not only expectations but also controversy. What followed was extraordinary. She delivered breathtaking performances, showcasing creativity, technical brilliance, and fearless innovation. In the Big A event, she landed a historic trick under immense pressure, securing Olympic gold. Then she added another gold medal in halfpipe and a silver in slopestyle, becoming one of the most successful athletes of the entire Games. Her victories turned her into a superstar in China, where millions of fans celebrated her achievements. Young skiers suddenly had a new hero. Yet even as she stood on the podium, some critics continued their attacks online. For Gu, the spotlight had become both a platform and a challenge. The power of representation. Part of what made Gu's decision so significant was what it represented. In an increasingly globalized world, many people grow up with multiple cultural identities. Children of immigrants often feel connections to more than one country. Their experiences cannot easily be placed into neat national categories. Gu's story resonated with millions who live in that same in-between space. She wasn't abandoning one identity for another. She was embracing the full complexity of who she was. For supporters, that was precisely what made her inspiring. But criticism persisted, until one